What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Veve Vibes, where I love talking all things Veve NFTs, speculation, and of course the market. So, interesting topic today. Yeah, there's some things that Veve did today that I'm not a huge fan of, but I'm gonna keep it on a positive note to start. First off, if you want to follow me on HRO at HRO Vibes, and then Veve Ultra Rare Steamboat Willie or Fastos at 9.999 million. I usually update those probably every other day, so I'm usually towards the top. And again, thank you to Diane for the most recent donation towards getting me new. I know I put earphones. I meant to put headphones. This ear is completely shot now. I can't fix it, so I'm trying to buy new ones. So once we do hit that goal, I will allow chat to buy whatever headphones they want on Amazon for me. So whether they're really cool ones, ugly ones, cat ears, doesn't matter. You guys get to pick for me, which is a lot of fun. Now to finally get into it. So the Disney villains was actually a pretty pleasant surprise. I knew these were going to do pretty well with a 20 gem box price, which is relatively low compared to all the other Disney stuff that we typically get. We're getting lots of FAs. I would say some of the villains are much more prevalent than others. So I do think, in my opinion, I think Jafar and Ursula will probably do the best, but at least the way pricing is working out right now, pricing is getting really weird in the market. So first I want to show you guys this. I did end up getting the whole set. I got 3 on my main phone and 3 on my other phone. I got really lucky on my main phone, so I actually ended up getting Jafar, Queen of Hearts, and Ursula on the drop, as well as a rebound, and I ended up having to buy the Queen, the one in the bottom left, on the secondary market, which was kind of cool, but I noticed it took me so long to buy it. I don't know if there was an issue with the market or whatever it was, but I kept on getting these errors over and over and over again saying, you cannot reserve it, you cannot reserve it. I was even scrolling down like a whole screen. It kept on saying you cannot reserve. I'm like, what is going on? Maybe it's a market issue. And at first I thought it was like, all right, maybe the market's just lagging. I kept on refreshing the page, but those listings stayed up for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes plus. I'm like, what is going on? And it wasn't until I started asking around, and one of my friends told me like, oh yeah, they switched it to where now when you try to buy something, it'll actually reserve it for you for 2 minutes, which is honestly really obnoxious in my opinion. So I really think this is not a fix at all whatsoever. So I'm actually going to show you guys, I'm actually going to play a video for you guys here on this other screen. Me 8 minutes straight just trying to buy just random stuff, and you guys get an example here pretty early on of what it looks like when you do it just kept on saying like, this is no longer here, this is no longer here, and the orders are still there. So eventually I do find one, and you can reserve it. It says buy now for 120 seconds. So I do remember this was something that a lot of people in the Veve community were saying a few AMAs ago, like, hey, it'd be kind of cool if you could like reserve an order, you know, if you buy it, you know, because right now I'm kind of getting tired of always missing it or whatever. But honestly, this does absolutely nothing. No, this is literally no different than the other thing, than like just missing it, because I'm still just missing it, right? But now people can basically just lock up NFTs for up to 2 minutes, which honestly, this whole reservation thing does absolutely nothing. Like the only thing I can maybe see it helping with is if you're trying to buy something, you get it, now you have 2 minutes to go add gems, and then you add gems and you go back and you buy it. I'm not even sure if it'll even let you do that. But then again, why are you even on the market if you can't even afford the gems to buy stuff in the secondary market? Like you want to confirm the sale first and then buy gems later. I don't really get that. So honestly, this provides absolutely nothing to the market, to be honest. I think this only creates more issues. And my other problem with this is like, did Veve even announce this? Like, unless I missed a tweet or something, or some sort of announcement in the Discord or something like that, but I don't remember them announcing this at all whatsoever. Like, hey, by the way, now in the market, you can now reserve orders or whatever it is. Like, you know, when you click it, you have up to 2 minutes to buy it. Like, why 2 minutes? Like, honestly, it just doesn't make sense to me, because now we're seeing that basically entire screens of NFTs you guys can see on the left side are just locked up. I try to click one, it says you can't reserve. I scroll down about 10 more listings, you can't reserve. 10 more listings, can't reserve. I'm like, what is going on here? And I think the main issue is that it's bad or no feedback. So we keep on getting this unable to reserve order thing, which is what we've been having since the beginning of Veve, right? Anytime you try to buy something and someone just barely beats you, it'll say, you know, unable to reserve, or, you know, you got close or whatever it is, or you just missed it. But with this, like, I'm thinking, especially since there was no announcement for a while, I was like, man, these are really popular, but it's not updating on the market listing. So I'm like, what's going on? And until I finally scrolled all the way down to, you know, damn near the bottom, I clicked on one, and then it said you can reserve up to 2 minutes. I'm like, wow. So people are just reserving it and just holding it for 2 minutes and not letting other people buy it. So one of two things is pretty much happening. Either people are actually buying them, waiting the full 2 minutes to artificially create a sell wall. So let's say Ursula's at 20 gems right now. So the listing gets put up at 19. You can just lock up that listing for 19 gems for up to 2 minutes. And now people that join, now that people look at the market, they're trying to sell their Ursula. Oh, well, the floor's at 19. It's just not moving. I guess I'll undercut mine at 18 or 1850 or whatever it is. So I know a lot of people, though, what some people are probably doing is locking up one listing, and then everyone's trying to undercut them, and they just have that other account just basically just keep buying underneath that amount of 19 gems or whatever it is. So I'm not a huge fan of this, of just like artificially just locking up an NFT for up to 2 minutes. I think honestly the worst case scenario is if you just have 2 accounts, or if you can even do it on the same account. I haven't tested it. If you just keep locking it over and over and over, you let the timer run out, 3, 2, 1, 0, and I have either another account ready to just buy and like hold up that listing again for 2 minutes, or you can do it on the same listing or the same account over and over. That is just terrible. So I think this whole like reservation thing is honestly a terrible idea. It's not a very good experience in the market because you don't know what's happening. It's not announced by Veve. Things are just getting locked up for up to 2 minutes or causing arbitrary sell walls. And the other issue too is that this is very easily bottable. Like you can easily have multiple tons and tons of accounts just keep clicking buy, hold up the listing for 2 minutes, and then once that timer runs out, the buy button's still there. So you just click buy again, lock up the listing for another 2 minutes. So you'll see here, like a lot of the time I'm scrolling all the way down, and I'm still not able to buy things, 20 or 30 listings down. So again, not a huge fan of this, like at all whatsoever. I'm not sure if Veve even announced this or whatever it is, if people even knew what was going on. I didn't. I actually had to have multiple people tell me from different parts of the community that like, oh, this is how it works now. So I don't know why Veve implemented this. This is literally no different than what the market was before, except now people can basically lock up listings for up to 2 minutes. People don't know why orders aren't being sold. It's not giving you the feedback like someone is currently buying this, you must wait, or whatever it is. No, I do have a couple of solutions for this. I try my best to come up with solutions when I do see something like this come about. So I have 3 solutions in order from the one I want the least all the way to the one I want the most. So the first solution is based on what's going on here, because again, I'm not a huge fan of this, the way the market is, or at least like the way the current purchasing system is for the market. Keep the timer, but if you time out, basically you can't reserve again for 5 minutes. So basically, if you let that timer run all the way out for 120 seconds, you basically are put on like a 5-minute penalty that you can't reserve again, right? Like why else are you just holding up a listing for 2 minutes if you're not going to buy it, right? Then again, I know there's a small workaround of, oh, you could just close it when there's 5 seconds left, or you can close it after a minute and reopen it, whatever it is. Not exactly sure. Maybe each account only has a certain amount of time of reserve time, like maybe you only have a minute, and then you use up 30 seconds for one listing, use up 30 seconds for another. Now you run out of reserve listing time. I'm not sure how that would even work. That's probably too much. Another quick fix to this is just reduce the time down to like 5 to 10 seconds. Like you honestly don't need 2 minutes to click a buy button, like right there. Like you honestly don't need 2 minutes. So again, I'm not exactly sure why this reservation button for 2 minutes even exists. I know Veve's trying to just test things out. This is my feedback for it. I'm not, this is just my feedback for the system. I don't think it's a terrible system, but it definitely could do some tweaks. But overall, at least the way it's current iteration, it's pretty terrible, and it's an awful market experience. And my last solution, which is probably the one I want, and I think after explaining this, what most people want, is just to remove it. Like honestly, this provides no value. All it does is just create artificial sell walls, bad feedback. People think that they're unable to reserve the order. There's no communication on Veve's end that they were even going to implement this. If they did, I missed it. I mean, I pay pretty close attention to the Discord and the Twitter when they do announce stuff. And this system is honestly very easily bottable. You can easily have dozens of bots lock up multiple listings, dozens of listings, and people just basically can't buy them for the long term. And again, because this wasn't easily communicated, or this wasn't openly communicated by Veve on the back end, a lot of people are just looking at this, are like, oh, Jafar's at 70 gems, I guess gonna list mine at 69. But really, the listings are probably higher. Like there's much more buying pressure than what's being led on, because all it takes is half a dozen people, or maybe 10 or 15 people to basically keep hundreds of people locked out of these NFTs, unless they go way down and they're willing to pay a premium, because now instead of paying 70 gems, I have to pay 85 gems for a Jafar, because all the ones below that are all locked up. So again, not a fan of this. Again, my solution is like, either if it times out, or if you take a ridiculous amount of time, you're just locked out from reserving NFTs for 5 minutes, or reduce the time down to like 5 to 10 seconds. Like you honestly do not need 2 minutes to reserve or to buy an NFT. But for the most part, I just think that they should just remove it altogether. They need to either polish this up, or like this whole reserve system, I'm not a huge fan of. So yeah, I think I've kind of hammered that home enough for the most part. I think you guys will understand where I'm coming from. And if you guys, I bet most of you guys didn't even know this was even happening. I didn't either, until again, I had to have multiple people tell me at the end of the day. So this is just like really obnoxious. It's forcing a lot of people to pay a premium. It's artificially just putting up sell walls so people start undercutting. And even then, whenever these bots want to release that sell wall, or whenever the bots want to basically now all of a sudden start pumping things, they just basically tell all the bots to stop, or they just buy all of them all at the same time. And now you have multiple or dozens of listings all get purchased in the same time, causing the price to fly up. People start panicking and buying more, or they can basically create another sell wall with all the bots, and now people start undercutting from there. Basically, this is very, very easily manipulated. And honestly, Veve should just get rid of it, in my personal opinion. So that's it. Please, take care, double and triple check all of your listings so you don't screw yourself over, and I'll catch you guys next time.